Yes, we're back again talking about that wonderful thing called Star Trek, the original series. Hello guys, welcome, or if you've already seen my channel before, welcome back. I am the Philadelphia Hoovian, and guys, for this video, we're talking about ranking all of the Star Trek episodes from the original series. But mind you all, I admit I am not going to include the first pilot episode of The Cage for two reasons. One, it's very similar to the Menagerie, which is a full-blown episode in itself, but also because I want to do a whole separate video talking about that. So, yes, and also, warning, right from the very beginning, guys, I'm letting you know now. I'm one of those YouTubers who sits in front of the camera and talks. But come on, you know you can bear it. You know you can weather it. Just grab some food and sit down literally and just try to focus while I'm talking. You can do it. You can do it. Okay, so without further ado, we're going to a ranking of the Star Trek episodes from worst to best. So there are 78 stories. So guys, here comes part one. Let's do this. Coming at number 78, was there any doubt? From season 3, the first episode, Spock's Brain. The plot of this, okay guys, the plot of this, for those who have not seen Star Trek, here's the plot. Spock is the first officer to Captain Kirk on the Starship Enterprise. And one day, there's an invader on the Enterprise, and a woman steals Spock's brain. Because Spock has the most incredible brain of all time, so Spock's brain gets stolen and kidnapped. And the Enterprise crew is on an adventure to recover Spock's brain. Guys, okay. Here's the thing about this story. It's bad. Everyone knows it's bad, but here's the fun thing. One time I was sitting there watching it, and it was so bad, it was hilarious. Like, literally, I almost did not put it in the bottom section because it was so hilariously bad. You know when things are so bad, they're good because they're so entertaining? This is it. It does everything wrong. Everything bad that could possibly happen in a story is in this. But guys, I swear, sit down with your friends one day. Watch it while you're drinking some beers. You guys will have such a fun time because it's so absurd. It's even a little offensive in a, gender way. It's just a bad story all around. The only reason I though put it at the bottom, even though it's so bad it's fun, is because it's so bad that it gave a negative connotation to season 3. People always think season 3 is terrible, all because of Spock's brain. And it's like they don't give season 3 a chance. So I'm putting it at the very bottom because it had the, chain reaction of making a whole season feel bad when actually the rest of the season had a lot of good stories to it. Number 77, another season 3 horrible one, Whom Gods Destroy. Okay, the plot of this one is simple. Captain Kirk and Spock go down to a, a psych clinic where there are people who are insane due to a disease they captured. Because of this disease, it feeds on your brain and you literally go insane and you go bonkers. Alright, and they go down there with the medication, but they get captured by the lead person who is also a captain who also contracted this illness. And they're like, if you let us give you the medication, you'll be fine. But no, a lot of havoc is wreaked in the process while this happens. Guys, the premise is very good. I mean, it has everything that works. That's what's painful about this story. Everything works. The premise is very good. The actors are wonderful. Kirk and Spock are also very good. The lead villain, the captain who's demented, he's very good. Standout performance, though, is the female alien in this. She's green. She's a remarkable dancer. Like, literally, this woman can dance. She's a remarkable dancer. She is a beautiful woman. Excellent body. Great actress. Quadra threat. This woman was astounding, giving her great performance to a story that, despite having all these good elements, it sucks. Anyone who sees it can tell you it just sucks. And it's painful because it has so much going on for it, and yet it's awful. It's even ugly to look at. The budget was awful for this, and it shows. Number 76, another season 3 one. I feel like, now that I keep mentioning all these bad season 3 ones, it's probably giving you guys the impression that season 3 is all bad, but it's really not. It's really not. Just the first few stories are terrible. Okay, number 76, And the Children Shall Lead. Okay, with this one, there's a magical entity that takes over the children in this one like village on this planet, and all the parents get killed because this entity uses the children to do it. And Kirk and Spock and all the Enterprise crew are there to find out what this entity is. Well, they don't even know there is an entity yet, but they discover what it is through the children. It's one of those stories where, again, a good idea, but it sounds like it's just a similarity to another episode from the first season, and just took that and it gave a spin on it. And it's a good idea, but it's just, again, bad production value. The budget for season 3 was cut exponentially, this shows, but it just feels like a rehashing of other stories, but not a very good one. But it has good elements to it, it just doesn't work in the end. Number 76, from Season 2. Yes, we're now getting into Season 2 territory. Catspaw. Catspaw is what it sounds like. Catspaw. Okay, Captain Kirk, as well as Spock, and I believe Dr. McCoy, go down to a planet that's all in fog when another unit has not reported back. They go there, and this story is meant for Halloween. This is Star Trek trying to give you a Halloween story, and I appreciate that. And for that, it works. And there are some couple good lines in here. For example, there's one segment where there are these 3 witches that appear out of the fog, and they're like, "Captain Kirk!" Literally, that's how they sound. "Captain Kirk! Go back!" And then Kirk asks Spock, what is that? Or Spock, what do you think? And then Spock says, "Bad poetry, Captain." That's a good line. That's a great line. And everything happening is overall quite good. The only downfall is the 2 aliens in it. They are awful. They are such a bad excuse to do an episode. And there's even one scene that's really funny, where there's an enlarged cat, a black cat that's clearly enlarged to look like this threat. And it's fun. That's enjoyable. It is fun for a Halloween thing. The only downside is the actual aliens. When we meet the aliens, the actors are doing a good job performing the aliens, but the aliens themselves just suck and they bring the whole episode down. So, number 74. Now we're going into Season 1 territory with Mudd's Women. Mudd's Women, okay. Mudd's Women, this is the first time in all of the first season, that's when the beginning I felt, oh god, this is just not up to par with everything that came before it. Mudd's Women is about a man named Harry Mudd, who is going around, that's not even his real name. Well, actually, that is his real name. He goes by a name by Leo Walsh, but his real name is Harry Mudd. He has a number of offenses against him. He's a bit of a criminal. An innocent criminal, but still a criminal. When I say innocent, he's not like a murderer or he's a bad guy or anything. He's just on the wrong side of the law plenty of times. And he's quite the comedic character. And he's going around, has 3 beautiful women on his ship, and these women have taken a pill to make them incredibly beautiful and alluring to men. Why? Because he's going to get them married off. He's taking them to other places to marry them off to the highest bidder that will give them a lot of money, and he gets money in the process. And Kirk, they're on board on the Enterprise because their ship broke up, and Captain Kirk ordered them to be saved at the last moment. Mudd's Women, okay. It has some enjoyable moments to it, but overall, this is where Season 1 felt like it just dipped. It just felt like it dipped in quality, concept, and everything. The actresses they got to play the women, great job. Harry Mudd, he's funny, but nothing about it really comes together because it just feels so subpar to everything else that came before it. Number 73, back to Season 3, The Paradise Syndrome. Another story that was, suffered from the bad budget they had. But with this one, Captain Kirk is on a planet where people think he is a magical healer and a god. And it's literally, he's amongst a world that is practically like the Native Americans, or the indigenous people of here in America. Whatever is the politically correct term for them now. I don't know what the term is. Sorry. Either way, yes, the Paradise Syndrome ends with Kirk getting married to an Indian woman, but people still think he's a god that will save the village from being destroyed by a storm or by some natural disaster, but turns out no, he's just a human. And he gets stoned once they find out that he's a false god. His wife joins him in the stoning because she doesn't want to lose her husband, and she gets killed in the process after she was pregnant and was going to have his baby. Yeah, that's not a fun experience. It's one of those stories you can't watch again because of the tragedy of how it ends. And that's mostly the thing that hurts it, is the ending hurts so much to witness. Now, number 72 from Season 2, The Apple. I'm gonna get so much hate for this, but the apple. Okay, I am a person who I admit I mostly lean more towards space-oriented stories than Earth or planet-oriented stories. Only way a planet story, where the story takes place on a planet, is really good for me, it has to be really well written. The Apple is about, the Star Trek crew going onto a new planet, and this planet has people on it who are like a lot of Adam and Eves, where everything is regulated for them, there's a higher power that controls them, so much so they don't even know what children are or what it's like to fall in love and have intimate relations. And as a result, Kirk decides to, and even Spock says, well, this is kind of counteracting the number one thing of not interfering with cultures when it comes to the Federation. But Kirk and the others say this is not a living, thriving culture. They are not functioning. They're in the same cycle where they are not progressing. They don't even have children. So Kirk goes about pretty much interfering, there's no better way of putting it, so that they can, as a culture, he destroys the thing that is controlling them, which is a computer that's controlling them. He destroys the entity so that these people can have a thriving civilization. There even is a snake in the head of the computer or the machine that's controlling everyone, if the imagery is not already apparent to you. It's just not my favorite story. I'm not crazy about it. I see how it's a good concept, but it just didn't. It's not terrible, but it just did not. It didn't float my boat, and that's the best way of putting it. Now for number 71, another season 2 story, The Gamesters of Triskelion. The Gamesters of Triskelion is a story where Kirk, Uhura, I believe in Chekhov, they're about to beam aboard the Enterprise after solving a crisis, and said no. They get, literally, while they're beaming up, they get captured, taken somewhere else, to a planet of these magical entities that capture people from all over the world or over the universe to participate and fight in their games, aka they are captured and turned into gladiators. Overall, this is not a bad story. It just suffers from bad production value. The costumings are just weird. I mean, it's fun if you're a kid probably, but it's like you can't take this seriously because of the costuming mostly, and of the environment. It just needed a bigger budget. That's all. Bigger budget and better designers when it came to designing the costumes of what you are seeing. So you can take this idea seriously. But the idea of them being gladiators and having to eventually be assigned someone to mate with also, this is actually a poignant message of people being taken and used for entertainment purposes. But it just didn't gel very well. But again, the plot's good, just not the production value. So that's my part 1 of my ranking of all of these Star Trek stories. Tell me about your least favorite stories. Let me know in the comment section. Either way, hopefully we'll see each other very soon, so we can do this all over again. Bye, guys.